Good morning, Honorable President of IDSA and Raksha Mantri Shri Rajnath Singh Ji, members of IDSA's Executive Council, Excellencies, distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen. To begin with, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all participants at the 12th edition of the South Asia Conference, which is one of IDSA's flagship annual events. I wish to extend our special thanks and gratitude to the Defense Minister and President of IDSA, Shri Rajnath Singh Ji, for agreeing to deliver the inaugural address at the conference despite his busy schedule and many other important commitments. We greatly appreciate your support, sir, in all our activities. The South Asia Conference series, which commenced in 2007, plays a key role in bringing together scholars, academicians, and officials from India's neighboring countries in a common endeavor to deepen mutual understanding and cooperation. South Asia, as you all know, has a population of 1.8 billion people with a combined GDP of about US dollars 3.47 trillion at a conservative estimate, of which a very large part, about US dollars 2.72 trillion, is that contributed by India. As a country accounting for about 70% of the region's geography, population, GDP, and defense expenditure, India has no doubt a very special role to play in the task at hand. IDSA is India's premier think tank, is striving to build a community of experts and analysts who would contribute through their ideas, analyses, and recommendations to the efforts being undertaken at various levels, official and non-official, to strengthen regional cooperation and integration. In previous editions of the South Asia Conference, the participants have dealt with a number of themes ranging from growth and stability, economic and non-traditional issues, to cooperative security, culture, role of media, and connectivity. We have fostered an atmosphere in which discussions are both frank and candid. We value the ideas that you contribute. It is encouraging to see broad consensus among participants over the years that South Asian states ought to set aside their legacy issues and work to enhance peace and prosperity for all. Another point on which there is consensus is that there is a huge reservoir of goodwill among the people of the region towards one another. Ideas such as instituting someday, hopefully, a South Asian Union with a single currency and visa-free travel have been floated in earlier editions of this conference. India's initiatives over the last 5 years to build regional cooperation are anchored in our Neighbourhood First policy. From inviting the heads of all SAARC states to PM Modi's swearing-in ceremony in 2014 to India's initiative to launch a South Asia satellite to improve communication and disaster response, India remains committed to its neighbourhood. India has always been the first off the block to provide relief in the wake of tsunamis, earthquakes, and other natural disasters in the region. Importantly, India does not seek reciprocity in the implementation of its Neighbourhood First policy. You will all agree that the greatest challenge before South Asia is the fight against poverty, climate change, natural disasters, and food and energy security. These are indivisible and they transcend borders. Cooperation on these issues will ensure the achievement of sustainable development goals. Cooperative security in any region is like a chain, which is as strong as its weakest link. South Asia too has a weak link, with one country choosing to adopt terrorism as an instrument of state policy against its neighbors. The consequences of such a policy of nurturing radical jihadi groups has been felt across South Asia and globally too. Connectivity is integral to our regional security. Better connectivity can help nations overcome political differences by conceiving of their borders as bridges and not as barriers. However, the efforts of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, better known by its acronym SAARC, to build a regional consensus have been undermined by one state, as evident in the case of the proposed SAARC motor vehicle agreement, which would have allowed region-wide movement of vehicles and promoted trade, commerce, and people-to-people contacts. Afghanistan, devastated by conflict, needs help. It requires the support of its neighbors to spur economic growth. Yet India and Afghanistan have been denied overland transit by a common neighbor. Therefore, it's not without reason that intra-South Asian trade is among the lowest anywhere regionally in the world. We, however, remain optimistic about the future of our region at a time when growth is no longer the monopoly of just a few. We are keen to use the potential of South Asian countries to strengthen other regional groupings and partnerships such as BBIN and BIMSTEC, and we are also committed to our Act East policy. We have a special friendship with Bhutan. Bangladesh is a key pillar of India's regional engagement. We have resolved long-pending boundary questions, maritime and land border with Bangladesh. We have an open border with Nepal that's very special. It demonstrates mutual trust and confidence. Our security cooperation with Myanmar in recent years has shot up. India is cooperating very closely with its friendly neighbors, the Maldives and Sri Lanka. And as one of the biggest regional donors to Afghanistan's reconstruction efforts, India has established an air and maritime corridor with Afghanistan in order to strengthen bilateral ties. And notably, we remain the country that trains the largest number of Afghan army officers, about 100 every year. Our shared maritime interests in the extended neighborhood remain anchored in developing a blue economy, particularly in the context of what Prime Minister Modi has described as Sagar, which is security and growth for all in the region. It's in our common interest to ensure the protection of key sea lanes of communication and freedom of navigation and overflight, as well as to ensure unimpeded commerce on the high seas. In conclusion, I simply wish to inform you that the conference will not end with these 2 days of deliberations. We are planning to develop an alumni page to make interaction among the participants an ongoing process beyond the conferences. I do hope that you will continue to contribute to the process of deepening mutual understanding, friendship, and cooperation between us. With these few words, I thank you all, and I particularly thank the Honorable Raksha Mantri ji for his very august presence here this morning. Thank you.